Evolution. Sports Talk Television live here nightly. All Bucs report. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about on tonight's show. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Will you shut up and be quiet? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live nightly here on Bucs Report. It's the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. For all your auto parts needs, it's Advanced Auto Parts. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. And it's been a big day for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Has it? Has it not? Definitely want to hear from you tonight. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And how do we start off the Sports Web as we always do every night? Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. So your Tampa Bay Buccaneers have re-signed Mr. Lombardi Lenny Leonard Fournette to a one-year deal, $3.25 million. He can get up to $4 million with incentives. So Bucs fans, what do you think? The Bucs are making history with this signing, of course. In fact, according to Andrew Hallman, the Buccaneers are set to return all 22 starters from the 2020 Super Bowl season. Last time somebody did that from week one starters, 1979 Steelers. I was one. I'm not joking. We're talking about history here. I definitely want to hear from you guys tonight. And then the last team to return the Super Bowl starters was the 1977 Raiders. Of course, they make it all the way to the AFC title game. So what do you think, Bucs fans? I mean, what a week, right? Donovan Smith re-signed. Although there's a lot of fans out there right now that are doing this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Or this right here. They're doing this right here. Because how many fans would get on this show last year and throughout the year and say that Smith is a bum, that he's no good? And yet the Bucs front office has basically told you in so many words, that's not true. They re-signed him. They free up money. And then on top of it, you re-sign Ndamukong Suh. And then the little cherry on top of that sweet little cake that Jason Light and Mike Greenberg are making right now for all you Bucs fans, you get Lombardi Lenny, playoff Lenny, whatever you want to call him. So what do you guys think? Because here's my thoughts. From the ownership down, the Glazers have set this up. They have set it all up for repeat. You cannot deny it. It starts from the top. It's the Glazers. And then it's Mike Greenberg and Jason Light. How many fans did we have come on this show? All shows across Bucs Report. No way they could do it. I mean, Bucs fans, you're kind of used to this by now, right? I mean, the sky is falling last year, and then this year you're going to the offseason, and you resign all your players besides Antonio Brown or Larry Fitzgerald, because that's been the big talk. So we'll definitely get into that. But going back to it, Mike Greenberg, Jason Light, getting everybody taken care of, players coming back. I mean, who's beating this team in 2021? I mean, honestly, who's beating them? The Saints? Really? The Panthers? The Falcons? You want to go outside the division? We'll play some games. Seattle? With their quarterback situation? What's going on there right now? San Francisco? San Francisco treat? Maybe not with Jimmy Garoppolo. The LA Rams? The Green Bay Packers? What do all those teams have not in common with the Bucs? Consistency. Absolute consistency. They have signed every player that you fans were scared they were going to lose. They have done everything perfectly to set themselves up for a Super Bowl repeat. And you know what show this is? This is the flagship. This is the show from the very beginning of last March that told you when Brady and Gronk and Fournette signed, it was Super Bowl or bust. Why would I change my prediction now? With the draft added, with the offseason that you're going to get the reps, with the preseason, you didn't have none of that last year. You have it all this year. So let me get this straight. You think this team is going to be worse? Where? Super Bowl or bust. In fact, I don't care who they play in Super Bowl 56. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the Super Bowl. And you know why? Because they set themselves up. From the Glazers, from Mike Greenberg, to Jason Light, to Tom Brady, to Chris Godwin, to Levante David, to Shaq Barrett, to Ndamukong Suh, to Leonard Fournette, to Donovan Smith. Hell, they may sign Antonio Brown and Larry Fitzgerald. You want to talk about a super team in the NBA? This is the super team in the NFL. And this is the evolution of Sports Talk 7. This is the evolution of Sports Talk Television. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Almost lost my train of thought there. It's the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's it. So I want to hear from you. Because I'm excited. Are you excited? Are you done doubting the Bucs? Are you done? Are you done, national media, doubting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Local media out there, are you done? Are you done stirring up the pot? We speculate on this show about everything. That's what Sports Talk Television is all about. Speculation. What do you think? What do I think? It matters here on the Sports Web. Brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. 727-255-0391. And I'll tell you right now, and I got tongue-tied on that. You know why? Because just think about it. Your mind's absolutely blown at this point about what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done. And the salary ramifications. Getting guys to take less money or rolling the money down the road with avoidable years. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. That's okay. It happens. I'm professional. I'm willing to say I messed up. I did. I messed up on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You say it many times. Doesn't seem to bother you guys. You keep on tuning in. I mean, in the big trades that happened today, I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think so many teams in the National Football League are trying to do what they're doing? It's a quarterback league. You think the San Francisco 49ers are not kicking themselves for not going after Tom Brady? Oh, yeah, they are. Why do you think they made the trade today? By the way, trading with the Dolphins, who, by the way, the Dolphins decided to fleece the 49ers and fleece the Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations to the Miami Dolphins for taking one player and Laramie Tunsil and turning into 4 first-round picks. Amazing. That's how you do it. Somebody said the joke today. Somebody was watching Draft Day. You ever watched Draft Day before? You're a draftnik like me. You should watch it. The way they're playing this. I'm going to hold off on the phone call because I know who that is. And he's taking it all the way to left field and he's not doing it on this show. Sorry, Rob. Ain't doing that. Not doing that. Why do you think the 49ers did that? They're kicking themselves. They had an opportunity to get Tom Brady, stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo. Guess what? An albatross of a contract. $24-25 million. Are they going to keep him? You trade up to the 3rd pick overall in the draft to keep Garoppolo? Really? No. You're trying to get a quarterback. It's an arms race, ladies and gentlemen. It is. Look at what the Rams did. Tom Brady is the cause of this. The NFL is going crazy right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, your team, are driving the league nuts. And they're just going to only get better. I mean, where have they gotten worse? I mean, you want to talk draft tonight? Somebody said, oh, they should draft a running back now. Why? You signed Leonard Fournette for a year. You got the victim of volume and a Ronald Jones, who, by the way, had 978 yards, close to 1,000. You drafted Keyshawn Vaughn with the 3rd round pick. I mean, you drafted running back. Najee Harris, Travis Etienne. Nah, I guess you could. You could draft a defensive tackle. You re-sign a Dominican Sue, a Nacho. You could go in that direction. You could go on the outside. But here's the thing. This is the reason why we're not talking about the draft. Because there's no needs on this team at this point. They re-sign all their players. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to the comments there. LFG, it's a Bucs life. Absolutely. Antonio Brown Sports Web on Saturday night. Can't beat that. Well, it's Friday night, but I'll give it to you. Because we all screw up, right? I just showed you my best monologue that I could do that I can screw up too. I'm not perfect. But damn, the Bucs are, aren't they? I mean, close to being perfect. And what do you think? Leonard Fournette coming back? Some people say he's going to be the bell cow. We'll see. I'll give him credit. People say, oh, Peter Blake's going to be in his feelings. He's going to be in his feelings tonight because Leonard Fournette signed. No, I'm not. Why? It makes this team better. I mean, we saw it last year, right? Fournette has some injury troubles. Ronald Jones comes in. Jones goes out with COVID and the injury. Fournette comes in. I mean, did you see how Fournette ran in the playoffs? Like a man possessed. Why would you think that I would be upset about that? Do you think I want this team to spend a 1st-round pick on a running back? Hell no! You can get a running back in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. How many times have we seen running backs go in later rounds and be productive? So drafting a 1st-round running back isn't the end-all, be-all. It's not. So why in the hell would I be upset about Fournette re-signing with the Bucs? I'm elated. I did cartwheels today. Yeah. My old ass 42-year-old body was able to do cartwheels today because of the signing. But I kind of alluded to it. You know, not to brag or pat myself on the back, but I told you this is what to expect. I thought Fournette was certainly gone. I thought the Bucs were looking at James White. That didn't happen. The running back market out there wasn't as plentiful, right? Fournette's looking at it. He's going, Seattle likes me? Nope. They re-signed Carson. New England likes me? Nope. They signed James White. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that shows you all day long. Why leave the best situation in the NFL? You'd be completely out of your mind, right? I mean, just like this. I mean, people were saying, well, he's going to get overpaid by the Cincinnati Bengals or somebody like that. Why the hell would you go to the Cincinnati Bengals? Oh, they got Joe Burrow, and they're going to pay him $7 or $8 million. They're going to pay him $4 or $5 million more than the Bucs. Okay, so what? It's going to be a worse situation. So I'm definitely not upset about the re-signing. I think it's great. I think it helps that running back room out. I also hear people, well, the reason why Fournette is signed because Ronald Jones can't catch the ball, can't do this. He's going to get better. What is he, only 23 years old? You guys are ready to give up on the victim of volume? I mean, there's a reason why I gave him the nickname in the first place. But Fournette showed out. He definitely did. And he deserved the contract extension. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. What do you think about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What do you think? 1979 Steelers repeated as Super Bowl champions. That's what Tom Brady is looking at right now. And then the other thing on the docket, which this rumor was put out there yesterday on Twitter, is that the Bucs were in strong pursuit of a Larry Fitzgerald. A lot of people say, well, go after him. Well, wait a minute. What about Antonio Brown? What about Antonio Brown? What about the 45 catches for 4 touchdowns and how much he meant to this offense? Forget now. Isn't Brown an upgrade over Fitzgerald? I mean, you look at Fitzgerald, 54 catches, 409, 1 touchdown. Extremely talented receiver. Is it possible? Yes, of course it's possible. Anything's possible with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Anything at this juncture is possible with Jason Light and Mike Greenberg. Anything. People say connect the dots. Bruce Arians, Coach Fitzgerald for so many years. You have Kevin Garver as the receivers coach. You have Byron Leftwich as the offensive coordinator. Put 2 and 2 together. Not ready to say that yet because he's still an Arizona Cardinal. And of course, the Cardinals right now in the offseason have upgraded to an AJ Green. But why do you think the Cardinals are getting rid of Fitzgerald in the first place? Right? He's not what he used to be. Could he be in this offense? Who knows? I like to go with Antonio Brown. I never thought I would say that. But I like that fit. Younger option. Give him a full year. The chemistry with Tom Brady and this offense, it makes sense to me. Plus, Fitzgerald is still a Cardinal. But you assume with AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk. So what about a Bucs fans? Who would you prefer? Is it an Antonio Brown? Is it a Larry Fitzgerald? 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. So I'll give you that mistake on that because I made my mistake. Peter King, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Sean says, yo, Peter, what's up? What's up, Sean? How you doing? Lenny is back. Brian says, heck yeah, I'm stoked. Sean says, another position in the draft we don't have to worry about. Let's go. I think everybody's saying that. When's the season start? Honestly, think about it. What team is beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year? And I'm not about to come on the show and say they're going to go undefeated because it's the toughest feat in the National Football League. But I tell you right now, they're going to be tough to beat on both sides of the ball. Offensively, defensively, special teams. Did you see this team in the second half of the year play after the bye week? 8-0. Number 1 in points. Number 1 in turnover differential. Number 1 in sacks. Bruce Arians is right. They can do whatever the hell they want to. They did. 8-0 to a Super Bowl championship. So what team's going to beat them? 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Donovan Smith showed up. Bucs time 12. Donovan Smith ready to ball out. I feel better about Smith with Gronk returning. Exactly. And when people come on this show and say, Well, Gronk's not worth $8 or $10 million. Really? An inline blocker that can catch the ball still and get separation? I get it. He's not as good as he used to be, but he's damn good. He's damn great in this offense. How good was he in the Super Bowl? 2 Super Bowls. 2 touchdowns. Excuse me, 2 Super Bowls. 2 touchdowns. Probably will be talking about 2 Super Bowls next year. Serious. Super Bowl or bust. Exactly. Brian, Greenberg is a magician with numbers. Sean, I'd rather much have AB back. Maybe Cardinals. Charles, who's beating them? Nobody. Exactly. And again, you don't believe in what I'm saying, just go back to last year. You can listen to all the shows you want to. That's one thing they can't take away from me. Okay? I'll give you a prediction. And I'll also admit when I'm wrong. I'm right about this. I know I'm right about this. This team could be better than they were last year. Period. 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Oh, he's coming back for sure. True. Christopher Cole. Hey, what's up, everyone? Absolutely. Sean, the Bucs are the NFC fave. How about that? Yeah. I don't think you see this team not be favored this year with their games. Maybe he's coming back too. Antonio Brown, still working on my contract. We'll see. I'm going to say it's the best Bucs team ever. Think it's possible. Let's get this party started. Absolutely. We'll get Harry the Greek in here. We'll also have another guest in here, which Damian Adams, the Real Deal Sports Podcast here in a little bit. And then, of course, your phone calls. I mean, are you elated as a Bucs fan? Are you happy? Are you believing? I heard all this. Well, they're going to lose about 2 or 3 guys. I was one of the guys that said, if there's a guy that you're going to lose, if there's a player that you're going to lose in this whole effort of free agency, it's a Leonard Fournette. And yet here he comes. He's coming back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for basically $3 million. $3 million. And we surely will get at least 3 more great players in the draft. Exactly. I'm fired up. I am too. Go ahead and call it out. All the way, baby, call it out. I will. And I don't care what anybody thinks. You can say I'm crazy all day long, but you were calling me crazy about a couple months ago. You were. You are agreeing with me. So stop the nonsense. Stop doing it. Because you'd be the same person that says, well, it's not possible. Well, it is possible. And this Bucs team has shown it. They've shown it last year, and they're going to show it this year. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Bah, huh? Yeah, exactly. LFG. Heck yeah, Peter, bringing that passion. Absolutely. Show them how it's done, Peter. You other streamers take notes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't care if you're Troy Polamalu or Antonio Brown or whoever you are. More than welcome on the evolution. The only team I see in the draft who won't be drafting for need. Exactly. Colin Cowherd hit it on the head. I like the guy. Kill the guy all you want to. Entertaining radio. Does television too. Hell, when I grow up, I want to be like that guy. That's who I want to be like. Major success, great stories, knows how to do it on the mic. Somewhat tells it like it is. And what did he say? The only team most likely not drafting for need. Depth, as my father would say. Depth. Shout out from Australia. Love it. Let me go ahead and fire those. Russell Week says, great show tonight. When is it not a great show? When do I not bring the passion on this show? When? Everybody else you watch, they're going through the motions. Here, we don't go through the motions. I don't go through the motions. I look forward to this. I told you about my sales job. I had a bad day today. I can't hang up on people. I can't show this fire and this emotion and this passion. Because if I do, most likely I'll lose my job. But here, oh, baby, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'll hang up on you. I'll congratulate you. I'll yell at you. And you'll love every minute of it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. NFL draft, what do you see? Well, they could go different directions. I don't think they're going to go running back. I mean, do you? A lot of people are saying Najee Harris. Love it. 6'2", 230. Possibly baby Derrick Henry. Maybe. But you're going to put him on this team? I mean, I guess you could. If the front office doesn't necessarily believe in a Ronald Jones, right? Of course, Leonard Fournette only 1 year. Ronald Jones coming into his free agency year. You drafted Keyshawn Vaughn, so you're not sure what you have there, but it's a third-round pick. So maybe. I doubt it, though. I think you go best player available. And you don't go wrong with an offensive tackle, do you? I mean, there's still crazy people out there go, well, Donovan Smith, man, he's on the last legs, or he's gone on this team. No, he's not. 3 more years of Donovan Smith. Get used to it, Bucs fans. You got to love it. Embrace it. He's your left tackle. He is. So they could go multiple directions. You could go offensive tackle. You could go defensive tackle. I like the edge. I think JPP is getting up there in age. I think you could go in that direction. Possibly a cornerback, as crazy as it sounds. There's many options out there. I don't think they go wide receiver. I don't. All right. Julian Edelman has talked about if AB doesn't return, Pat signed 2 guys who played slot. Edelman might be expendable. Brady would be all over that. A lot of people have talked about that. Bucs will be much better next year, not just a little, much better. Exactly. I agree. Let's go out to, I don't know who this is. Granardo, is it worth renewing with AB? Why not? Why not? I mean, look, I'm the first guy, the first critic that got up here and said, no to AB. But then when they signed him, I'll give it a chance. 45 catches, 4 touchdowns. I mean, and he was getting into the groove, right? And he joined this team in week 8. Why would you not want to have him? Why not? Look, I think Larry Fitzgerald is a talented receiver. Was a talented receiver. I'm not sure if he still has some in that tank. He may. You look at the catches, 54 for 409, 1 touchdown. Tom Brady, Bruce Arians can make it work. But then again, some people will say, well, Fitzgerald and AB. We'll talk about that with Harry the Greek here in just a little bit. Gary says, I hope so. Dwayne says, I want Fitzgerald for his blocking alone before Edelman. Sean says, 49ers are getting Wilson or Lance. I mean, you would think. I mean, all the talk in the offseason has been, well, Jimmy Garoppolo is our quarterback. Really? You make that trade up to 3rd overall? You ain't selecting an offensive lineman. You're not. Trent Williams at the left tackle spot, pretty good. So rules that out. You think John Lynch traded up for a defensive guy in this draft? Not me. No freaking way. They're going for a quarterback. I think Zach Wilson is gone. According to reports, he's going to be the Jets' pick. Sorry, Jacob Charnell. Looks like Sam Darnold may still be there, but I think they're going to go Zach Wilson because of the pro day, how much of a great pro day he had, whatever the hell that means. I miss the combines, don't you? I miss the combine. But there you go. LFG. Smilegate. Yo, Peter, I paid that guy $150 for your autograph, and he gave me a Rick Hughes autograph. I want a refund. Enough with you, okay? You want an autograph? I got your autograph. Stop with that. Stop it. Charles says Todd Bowles will evolve his scheme because the 2 deep safeties work so well. I mean, again, where is the weakness on this team? Depth. Exactly. I mean, I have never seen a year, even in the 2002 year when the Bucs won the Super Bowl, because you knew they were going to lose players, and they did. And players got older. And you were talking about what they need. Of course, at that time, you couldn't talk about it because the Bucs gave up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. So, of course, you weren't talking about it, but you weren't feeling like, well, you know what? The Bucs still have a need. Well, they had a need somewhat. They had some needs. Of course, they didn't fill them. That's another story. But I've never gone into a year where I'm not talking about the draft in some fashion. I've never seen that. This is the year. I mean, honestly, the big boss of Bucs Report is going to say, you got to do a draft show. And I'll be like, why? And he's like, because the fans want it. And I'll be like, okay, I love the draft. So I get that. But I mean, from the Bucs standpoint, I mean, honestly, do you really care? I mean, I think you guys care. But I mean, is it like overwhelming your life? Like you got Path to the Draft on NFL Network. You got Kuiper on and what the hell is his name? Man, just losing my mind tonight. Todd McShay. You got those guys on right now? You're doing your mock drafts? I do mock drafts. I get mocked. It's okay. People say, well, mock drafts are a waste of time. Well, they're fun, first and foremost, so have some fun in your life because I bet you're an absolute party favor at a party. And then second, I just don't think there's a lot of people doing mock drafts right now for the Bucs. I don't see it. Sean says this. Absolutely. Happy Friday, Peta. Happy Friday to you, Miss Taylor Allen. How you doing? Sean says D-line, edge, linebacking depth, early in the draft, then best player available. Possibility. Good text. Like it. Like it a lot. Go ahead and fire those kids. I saw the cartwheels. You know, that was probably one of the smartest things you've ever said on this show, Mr. Rogers Shoe. Appreciate you. Justin, what did you eat for dinner, Pete? I need to get my kids to bed, but I need your energy. I had a pizza. It was a French bread pizza, so it wasn't like, you know, going, because you can't make fun of me because everybody's going to come on the show. What kind of pizza did you eat? Did you go to Hungry Howie's again? No. Frozen. I made it in my my cooker over there. The best thing ever for somebody that's single, that can't cook, worth a lick. Not a microwave. It's better than that. Air fryer. Boom, right there. Let the truth set you free. An air fryer. I air fried a French bread pizza, and it was great. Loved it. Best thing ever that's been invented for somebody that's a bachelor like myself, like I said. So, my energy is natural, though. I mean, coffee in the morning, maybe. This is natural. I mean, how can you not get pumped up about this, guys? You should be slamming these phones right now. Slamming them. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Get 2 young running backs who can catch in the draft. Demetrius Felton. Well, look, I think Leonard Fournette did a better job of that in the postseason. 85% catch, which is off of Pro Football Reference. Of course, Ronald Jones struggled with that. That's one of the things he has to work on. Fournette did a better job of that throughout the season. So I'm not sure if they're going to draft a running back. They may. Felton is a running back they like in the draft, and he can be had later on. And I think he's not only just a running back, he's also a gadget player. So you could see him at wide receiver. You could see him at running back. You could see him being a kick returner or a punt returner. I mean, he's got speed to kill. That's the player you're talking about. Kick returner is a need. 2, we interviewed UCLA's Tamarick Felton, who can play running back or wide receiver, has great return skills. Exactly what we talked about. Gary says, oh, yes, Fitzgerald will be nice. Bucs time 12. They could use a good backup quarterback if one slips, but mostly need D-line and quarterback early. Most likely, they're going to re-sign Blaine Gabbert any day now. We're going to be reporting it here on Bucs Report. Bucs are primed. Absolutely. David, you give Leonard Fournette a full offseason and training camp and continuity with that offensive line, he's going to have a killer year. Agree, if a Ronald Jones is not in that equation. Because remember, the victim of volume is still on this team. And he still led this team in rushing. Don't forget that. I think both of them, it's a good problem to have. People were talking about it last year. Why you sign Fournette, you take away carries from Ronald Jones in case Ronald Jones gets hurt. What happens? Ronald Jones gets hurt. You have Leonard Fournette. Fournette gets hurt. You have Ronald Jones. They both get hurt. You have Keyshawn Vaughn. Please, Vaughn, don't put the ball on the ground because I want to see more of you. Will AB re-sign with the Bucs? I hope he does. I don't know. Latest rumors suggest that they're going after Larry Fitzgerald. So if that's true, then would AB be a guy that you would re-sign? All right, but how much cap is left? Can't stop roster baiting. Heck no to Fitzgerald. Bucs time 12. AB is far better than Larry at this point, minus the legal issues. I think the Fitzgerald story is fake news. Well, came out. We had it here on Bucs Report. We put it out there for you fans. Antonio Brown, AB says Russell Weeks, Charles Scott, Brady loves AB, AB loves Brady. There you go. 16-1, certainly possible. Super Bowl champs again, I like it. William says, laugh out loud, haha, just messing with you, Peter. It's been a great offseason. Can't wait for the draft. I mean, William, I talked to you about this, and you were the one saying, there's no way they can re-sign everybody. There's no way they have the money. And here we are, William Romer. Here we are once again, my friend. And you've been a great webhead for so many years, my friend. You have been. When we disagree, we go back. We agree, we disagree. I always respect your opinion. But isn't it amazing what the Bucs have done? I mean, honestly. All right, let's go out to Charles. Don't forget, we're adding OJ. Exactly. You're adding OJ Howard to this. MSM says the Chiefs are still favored. Well, there you go. How did they do against the Bucs in the Super Bowl? 31-9. Have they scored a touchdown yet? Has Patrick Mahomes stopped running for his life? Tell the mainstream media what happened last year. Maybe they didn't see it. Keep on watching that game. You'll see it. The thumbnail for the stream is just Peter staring blankly at the stream with no expression, so I had to click on it. Well, thank you, Stunning. I appreciate you. You're also a troll. I hope you're joking about 8-8. Now, there's no joking. There's no 8-8 coming. What can Tampa do with the 32nd pick in the draft? That seems really low. Well, that's what happens when you win the Super Bowl and you're world champions and you're Super Bowl champions, whatever you want to call it. That's what happens. So it's a good thing to have a 32nd pick. But you got to have faith in Jason Light, right? And Bruce Arians are going to get somebody to come in there, maybe be a starter, but you don't necessarily need a starter at this point because you got everybody re-signed offensively and defensively. Only thing beating the Bucs is injury. There you go. That right there. Knock on wood when we say the injury thing. And the Bucs had injuries last year, and they were able to overcome them. Why? Depth. So again, going back to the premise of the start of the conversation, am I disappointed about Leonard Fournette? Hell no! Because I know that Ronald Jones has injury concerns, and I know Fournette has injury concerns, and I know Keyshawn Vaughn is a guy that's unproven. So no, I'm not upset because injuries happen in the National Football League. It does. All going well. They're picking 32 for a while. Stunning says, Peter, you didn't bring the passion before Thomas Brady was signed. I was there, can vouch you're a liar because I always brought the passion every night. Stunning, you know what? You're one of the biggest trolls I know on this show. Because I guarantee you go back to the shows when Jameis Winston was the starting quarterback, and we had shows for 2 to 3 hours talking about turnovers and interceptions. So I always brought the passion here on the sports web. Don't even say it. All the shows on Bucs Report are fire. Welcome to the evolution. Absolutely they are. They are. Get some more OL help in the draft, including the newest show here on Wednesday nights called the Over Under, which I'll have Harry the Greek just stand by, just reading these comments. So yeah, you could definitely go in that direction. Albie says, I think you deserve the Cannons. Give them hell. I will. And let me go ahead and do it. That's what we do here. We always do that. We give them hell. DT, again, I don't care what anybody says or thinks on this show. I don't. I told you why I don't. because I have to work a job where I actually care about what people think. And on this show, it's what I think and it's what you think. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Safety? Possibly. Although Jordan Whitehead's coming into a free agent. Did he play his ass off? I mean, did you see him versus the Green Bay Packers? When he just came by and lowered the lumber? Right? I mean, he dropped it like it was hot on one of those running backs, and the running back fumbles the ball. So safety, certainly a position you could go with. Losing an Andrew Adams, who I called Anthony Adams the other night. I must be getting old. They lost him. That's depth. I don't know what that is, but thank you to the beautiful Lady B Nita. I'll go ahead and fire the cannons for that. Always love when beautiful women tune into my show. It's always a good thing, especially on a Friday night. What more am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to tune in to Peter Blake's show, The Sports Web on Bucs Report. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thank you. Air fryers are amazing. Real talk. This man knows what he's talking about. I mean, come on. Let me preach to you. If you're a terrible cook like me and you want to look like a freaking genius and eat healthy, because we all need to eat healthy when we get older, you get with an air fryer. Okay? You do. Or you have your family get you one. Seriously, go down to Walmart, go down to your participating stores and get one. It's the best ever. The draft is not interesting this year because we are picking 32 best player available. Good stuff. Been a fan since 96. I remember the uniform transition from the Yucks, O.J. White, Tony Kiffin, and all the coaches were great. This Super Bowl win was special, though. Happy for Brady and grateful as well. Bucs time 12. Fournette and Rojo are going to be compete hard, for that starting spot. It will be one of the biggest stories in camp for sure. And one of the things that we'll cover here on the Sports Web. Who's returning kicks and punts? Great question. Maybe that's the reason why they're talking about Felton. Stunning says, whoa, Peter, I'm absolutely not a troll. You're playing a troll tonight, and I'm going to go troll you back. Charles says, Bucs are in that window. Go all out, keep AB, and draft the best players available. And again, with Bucs fans, stop with the Glazers, the terrible owners. They're not. They're not terrible owners. In fact, I give them as much credit as anybody in this Bucs organization. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, who's calling the final shots? Who's talking to Jason Light and Mike Greenberg and Bruce Arians and basically saying, go for it again? Because we don't want to be just a one-year wonder. We don't want those stupid national pundits, and you know who you are. You do. You know, 4-letter network or Fox Sports 1 with the debate shows. They're a one-year wonder. Tom Brady's too old to do it again. We'll see. We'll see. So I love that the fact that the Glazers made that decision to give the okay to the guys to do it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yes, Mahomes has stopped running for his life. He's getting toe surgery now. Well, that toe injury didn't look too good against that Bucs defense, right? Was it the toe? I mean, I want this guy to be 100% because I'm tired of hearing the excuses about how this Bucs defense got lucky. I mean, that's all you heard this year. Well, the Bucs got fortunate because people were missing COVID. Okay, easy. Don't go out. Don't go out to a club. Social distance. Wear a mask. Do what you're supposed to do. Not my problem. Bucs didn't get lucky. Yeah, a little bit lucky, a little bit fortunate. But they played their asses off, especially that second half of the year going 8-0. Not my fault you didn't pronounce dyslexia one time. Got you on that, didn't I? We re-signed some key depth pieces. Kevin Minter, Stenny, and Nacho comes to mind. Exactly. How well did Stenny play at right guard for Alex Kappa? That could be another competition. It's good to have competition. You know, I feel like there's people who go, oh, well, you don't want to be competitive with another show. Hell yeah, I want to. Hell yeah, all day, every day. Put my show against anybody on this network. Put it up against anybody on any other network, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be the best. Let me go out to the phone lines. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind, boss?
Brother, I just got off. I screwed up a couple weeks ago and called you during your monologue, but it's 49:45. You weren't doing that monologue still, were you?
No, man, I'm good. I'm just talking to my fans here, man.
Brother, I love it. Love it. Love it. Love the passion. Love the passion. Bring your passion on a Friday night.
I brought so much passion. I slipped my mind there on the monologue. I just went right out the door. I forgot the evolution of sports talk television. Everybody saw it too. It was funny.
Well, what'd you bring it in? What'd you bring it in with? What brought you in with so much passion? Was it the Leonard Fournette signing and the roadshow victim of volume?
I don't know. The Bucs are set to return all 22 starters from the 2020 Super Bowl team. Last team to do this was Week 1. The 1979 Steelers, who repeated. Okay.
Jesus.
And then the last team to return the Super Bowl starters was the 1977 Raiders. History, guys. These years, I wasn't even born.
I was, and that sucks. But you know something else too? Scary thing. I remember that Ed Too Tall Jones Coke commercial from 1979, and every kid in the country wanted an Ed Too Tall Jones jersey, and all we had to do was give him a bottle of Coke, brother. But you know something that's got me excited on a Friday night?
Mm-hmm. What's up?
The thought of Tom Brady and Bruce Arians' system and Byron Leftwich's system his second year, and no one's even done the comparables to what Carson Palmer did in his second year in Phoenix under Bruce Arians and that offense they had running out there, and now mix it with all 22, the whole gang's coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
Not get excited.
I don't know how you get excited. Don't get excited. It's been amazing at what this organization has done in their off season, and I just put it out there, man. I've been saying it since the season ended. It's Super Bowl or bust again, and they've set themselves up from the Glazers to Mike Greenberg to Jason Light to Bruce Arians to Byron Leftwich to all the players taking less money or doing deals for this team to bring players back, namely a Tom Brady. They have set themselves up to repeat for the Super Bowl, and I'm not sure if there's a team out there that can beat this team this year. I really don't.
No way. Well, no. And the narrative for every team going for a second Super Bowl hasn't been done since 2004, and the narrative is the question of the ability to ask if you flew out of the womb. He's been throwing he's been throwing touchdowns since he was a kid in San Mateo, California. Loved Joe Montana growing up, and now he's got his second year in the Buccaneers with this team, and they've got the confidence I've never seen before. I'm excited.
Agree, man. Great. I think you should definitely be excited. All right, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. I'm going to get Harry the Greek on here in just a little bit. We got some other guests. Anything else, bud?
Yes, thank you for taking my call, brother. I just wanted to make sure everybody please tune in on Sunday morning to Cup of Ray. I've got a VIP guest. It's going to be phenomenal. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to talk Bucs. We'll talk everything else, brother, and keep it real on a Friday night. Take care, Peter.
Absolutely, my friend. There you go. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, bringing it like always. Best of the day. All right, let's keep on reading these comments. In fact, let's go ahead and get out to Harry the Greek really quick. Harry, welcome to the Evolution. And if I told you at the beginning of this process that the Bucs would sign all their starters from the Super Bowl and the Week 1 starters, the Week one starters and the Super Bowl starters, and the last time this happened was the 1979 Steelers for one of those, and that would be Week 1, and the 1977 Raiders, would you bet on that?
First off, you would have stumped me on that. Okay, because I said I've never seen that, and I forgot about the Steelers. The Raiders, you'd have stumped me on that one. Look, man, I've said this twice now. Jason Light and the rest of the management is by far the best GM in all of football and maybe one of the greatest of all time. It hasn't been done since 1979. This is scary. You know, and I know you're really afraid to say, you know, this team, you know, could go 16-0. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make that proposition bet for about $100, and it's probably going to be about 15,000 to 1. I can't help myself. If this team stays healthy and they have a preseason, who has beaten them? But you know what? Since we brought that up, Peter,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really going to talk too much gambling here, but I can't help myself because, you know, you said something about being lucky. Well, in gambling, we say, I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week.
Exactly.
If they don't get injuries, who do you think right now is the standing favorite? I'd love people to call in or leave a comment for you.
Mhm.
Who do they think the standing favorite is to win the Super Bowl? What are the top 5 teams right now? I want your top 5 teams right now.
Top 5 teams, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper, Mr. 88%, going up to 89, 90%, as we shall see even more with March Madness coming up here with the Bucs at this point. Talking about that, let's get off of them just a little bit. Let's go to that big trade today.
Wow.
San Francisco 49ers with the Miami Dolphins, as I talked about in my monologue. The Dolphins, 4 first-round picks for Larry Tunsil.
Okay, you're going to have to slow it down for me a little bit because when I read it, I was like really confused. It just seems like I've never seen that many trades before a draft. I don't think ever.
Right.
So if you could like break it down into a dummy language for me, I'd appreciate it.
Well, here's what the Dolphins have the first 3 rounds only in the next 3 years. 2021 first round number pick 6. Of course, they traded with Philly, so they went from 12 to 3. They traded with the 49ers. The 49ers traded up to number 3. So
who has the 3 pick now?
The 49ers.
Okay. You see, I'm already screwed up. Who got the most picks and who did the best?
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let me just tell you the first 3 years here. Quit playing around with me. All right, the Miami Dolphins in 2021, first round, number 6 pick, which, by the way, they went from 12 to 6, which, by the way, what the hell are the Philadelphia Eagles doing? I mean, the owner comes out and says, I want to do the best I can for Jalen Hurts. You have an opportunity to get a top 10 wide receiver, and you trade out to number 12, but we'll get back to that a little bit later. Once again, Dolphins, number 6 pick, first round, number 18 pick in 2021. Second round, 36 pick from Houston. Thanks a lot, Texans. Once again, you are a dumpster fire. Second round, number 50 pick. There's third round, number 81 pick. Now check this out. 2022 for the Dolphins. First round pick, San Francisco. So that could be anything. That could be a top 5 pick. That could be a top 10 pick. You know, John Lynch getting back your injuries. You would think that would be a mid-round pick. But who knows? Who knows? Because Jimmy Garoppolo, when he gets out of bed at night, could hurt himself. Second round pick, of course. Third round pick and a third round pick, the San Francisco comp pick in 2022. 2023, of course, they got their first round pick. They also have the 49ers first round pick, a second round pick, and a third round pick. So the Miami Dolphins obviously are not in the quarterback market, although if you look at all this draft capital, could they be in on the Russell Wilson draft sweepstakes at this point, with supposedly Seattle looking for top 10 picks, looking for this? Should the Miami Dolphins pursue a Russell Wilson? Yes or no?
Anybody should pursue Russell Wilson. They're still saying that the Russell Wilson deal in Chicago isn't dead, even though they have Andy Dalton. I don't get it. The pundits out there are going to make up a lot of stories strictly because they have nothing else to talk about. If they want to talk about something really great, let's talk about what Tampa's done. This hasn't been done since 1979. Why aren't they talking about this more on ESPN or the NFL Network or on Fox Sports 1? I don't get it. Are people that afraid of Tom Brady? That's my question.
Yes, they're hating on the Bucs. They hated on the Bucs last year. When they won the Super Bowl, they gave them a little credit. And then the narrative this year is the fact of there's no way they can do it again. Well, Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, the Glazers, Bruce Arians have put this team in position to do it again, in my opinion. Go ahead.
It's the best general manager and the best management team that I've ever seen. Peter, I'm going to keep telling you that. And I've seen some great ones throughout the years, especially handicapping football the way I have. There is no way in today's modern era. Let's go back to 2000. Okay, when the New England Patriots, and all of a sudden they strung all those Super Bowls together, and how many did they win? 6 with Tom Brady under the helm? We said we'd never see another Steelers team. Then we said we'd never see another Dallas team. Then we said we wouldn't see another Dallas type of team. And then, lo and behold, here are the Patriots, 6 of them. But you know what that team the Buccaneers have that those other teams didn't have? Well, they never had a general manager that was able to take every single important key player back. It's never been done other than what happened back in the late 70s with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then prior to that, who was it again? The Raiders?
It was,
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's
amazing.
It's look, I haven't seen it done. I just haven't. I mean, players want to get played. I'm the first one to tell you I was wrong, Peter. I didn't think they were going to keep Chris Godwin and Shaq Barrett and Levante David. I thought for sure they would. Forget about. I'd love to sit here and tell you, say, I picked it, buddy. Zero chance, I said. I thought they'd keep one of the three. I didn't know that 2/3 of the team was going to restructure their deals just to make sure they were going to come together. But you know what I'm really, really surprised with this team? When people were able to take smaller deals just to stay here, it's not about the cash. It's not like the Ezekiel Elliott's over in Dallas and what happens as soon as he got paid, he got fat. And I mean fat. Okay? Like a lot of these other players. Albert Hainsworth, what happened to him when he got paid?
He got fat.
That's right. That's exactly what happened. And that's what happens to 2/3 of these teams. I'm telling you now, if this team stays healthy with a good preseason, and the key word is healthy, I am predicting it now. Find a book, find an offshore account, put a few shekels on it, and see if you can get an undefeated season. I know it's a long shot, but I pick a lot of long shots. I'm telling you, I'm putting my hard-earned money on an undefeated season coming up this year. That's what I'm calling for.
I love it. Harry the Greek here, my professional handicapper. So with all the Bucs re-signings, where do you think Vegas lies on this? Because we heard what mainstream media, we saw a power poll come out for the teams in the league. You still have some people ranking Kansas City ahead of the Bucs. Where do you think Vegas lies on the odds of the Bucs?
Well, that's why I said go ahead and ask for the phone call. That's why I said go ahead and post a comment. Peter, you've already got some comments in here, and these numbers I'm getting ready to drop are going to be very concerning. You can forget about NFL power rankings, okay? When you read in the pundits articles from CBS Sportsline or ESPN or the NFL Network or on Fox, all you're getting is a man's opinion. You want real opinions? You got to look at lines from Vegas, William Hill Sportsbook. You got to look at the Bellagio. You got to look at everything. Those are your true lines, because the big boys is where the big money's going on. Go ahead and read some of those comments, Peter, and then I'm going to give you what the top 5 are and who the surprises are. You're going to freak out when you hear this.
All right, let's go ahead and read some of these comments here on the Sports Web. Who's returning kicks and punts? We kind of talked about that. I read that comment. Bucs are definitely in a window. Bucs time. Yes, Mahomes has stopped running for his life. He's getting toe surgery now. Stunning. Not my fault. You didn't. Okay, I read that. So we read some of these comments already. The re-signing of the depth pieces. Great. Listen, Peter, I'm a rational Bucs fan. I've supported the Buccaneers this entire season. Never said he didn't. Never said he didn't. The constant yelling doesn't make the show better. We are on your side, man. Look, I don't care if you like the yelling or not. You're tuning in to the Sports Web. This is my show, and I do what I want to. All right.
First off, he's not yelling. I got to come to the defense on you.
No.
There's a difference between someone yelling and someone being passionate. My friend, that is what you call passion.
That's it. That's exactly.
And I think that's rule number 2 on this show. Or is that rule number 1, Peter?
There's 3 things we
bring your passion. That's what it is. That's rule number 1.
Yes. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. All right, let's see here. Roger Shue says, I'm the head troll in charge of the Sports Web. You're in charge of absolutely nothing here.
Where's my barbecue, Roger? Where's my barbecue?
We need to draft special teams. It was the worst spot of our team last year and still the Super Bowl champions. I'm starting to lean towards trading pick 32 for more assets in 2023. That seems to be when we need more youth to replace the vets that will retire or not be signed. North Sports Dynasty, of course, that would be Andrew Fulbert, the big board out of Canada. The fact that everyone wants to return says it all. Well, Peter, you didn't get me when you pronounced dyslexia, since you didn't announce evaporation that one time. All right, I got you. Ray's excited because it's Friday night in the Best Avenue, and it is evaporation. I know what you said, so quit playing with me. All right, let's go 17-0, guys. Extra game this year, 17-0. Yes, I agree. Top 5 teams: Buccaneers, Chiefs, Packers, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
All right, take a mental note of that. Keep going.
All right, let's go out to North Sports Dynasty: Bucs, Chiefs, Bills, Packers, and Colts. Very nice. Okay. Rams or Bucs for the NFC? Bucs, of course. Russell Weeks, Bills, Chiefs, Rams, maybe the 49ers healthy. That's a maybe, and we'll see what the quarterback situation, because we'll get more into that trade. They've been hating on the Buccaneers since 76. Justin says Brady is everything. If he went somewhere else and Jameis was back, the GM probably wouldn't be praised so much. He wasn't praised before, but hey, Light did sign Brady. Light, to me, has made, before signing a Tom Brady, has made his fair share of hits. You look at Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Mike Evans was a part of that, Jason Light. So, again, he's had his fair share of hits and misses, but he's absolutely knocked it out of the park the last couple of years.
You ready?
Yeah. Hold on. Super Bowl, yes, absolutely, but wouldn't bet undefeated. Stunning says, I'll come to Peter's side for the first time. It's his damn show. Thank you. Ben says, so funny how we all restructure to stay together, and Hill won't even restructure to keep the Chiefs irrelevant still. Well, there you go. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about Tyreek Hill. And by the way, he's still waiting to score because he was the wise guy that was doing flips in the end zone and scoring 2 touchdowns. And then Antoine Winfield got the whole 2 sign up, the 2 right there. I think what Winfield really meant was 2 Super Bowls, not the fact that he didn't score at all, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for several features at NFL Network, America's Game about the Super Bowl champion. This always happens when Brady wins. And let's go out to Russell. I like seeing the Dolphins getting better as a Florida sports team fan. I mean, today with this trade, in your opinion, Harry, did the Miami Dolphins get better? Who got better? Who got the better overall trade? You got the Eagles here. They moved down to 12. You got the 49ers making a big move, but of course, giving up a couple of first-round picks in the next couple of years to get up to number 3. I mean, you would assume that Jimmy Garoppolo's days as a 49er quarterback may be over, right?
Well, the writing's on the wall there, Peter. Jimmy Garoppolo is definitely going to be going, and I think it might be too late because they could have got a lot more for him. But that's when the Patriots get really smart. I think they're going to get back to their old ways and realize they can get themselves a nice quarterback and not have to give up so much for him. Who do I think got really good in this? I think the Miami Dolphins did. They've been stockpiling picks. This team has just been absolutely incredible. Probably one of the better management staffs in all of football. But I think they regressed this year, Peter. I think what they did to the left-handed quarterback from Alabama, Tua, I think what they've done to Tua, taking him and moving Fitzmagic out to put Tua in, I think they've not really ruined him. I think they've hurt his confidence. I don't think the defense is going to play like it did last year unless they address it. And I think they might be looking for a quarterback. And if they do that, they're starting all over again. And I don't see this team going over 500. And that's just my opinion. But the reason why I wanted you to read those comments, I really want to drop some knowledge here. Remember what I was saying, who I think? It's not really so much knowledge of what this is. Your Kansas City Chiefs out there in America are the favorites to win it at 6-1 right now. There's plus 600. So for every 100 you bet, if you bet Kansas City, you're going to win 600. Here's your next one, and try not to throw up. I got to see your face when I tell you this one, Pete. The Green Bay Packers are number 2 in all of football at plus 900. Okay, I wish I could see other people's faces. Now your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for every 100, you're 10-1. You'll get $1,000 for every 100 that you bet. You ready?
Yeah.
This is getting better.
Okay.
The Bucs are 3rd. Baltimore's 4th at plus 1,200. The Bills are plus 1,200. This is another team that I think that's going to regress. Here's a team that I think this team is way under bet right now, and this is my sleeper team in the NFC in all of football, which are the LA Rams, who has a solid defense, and they've got now a real quarterback that can get them over the hump with good running backs. They're plus 1,300. How can the San Francisco 49ers be plus 1,400 at your 7th best team to start the year after the year they just had? They don't even know who the hell their quarterback is, Peter, and they're plus 1,400. Here, you got the garbage can really close to you because you're really going to heal when I say this one.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
The New Orleans Saints are plus 1,800. It's number 9 team in football.
I don't get it.
Hold on. Then Cleveland and Seattle are plus 2,000. That's where they should be. Indianapolis, you haven't heard their name on the list, have you?
No.
Yeah, because they're below the 49ers, the Saints, Cleveland, and Seattle, and they've got Carson Wentz.
Wow.
Oh, I'm not done. Tennessee's below them. But you guys like long shots? I'm going to give you some long shots.
All right, give me a long shot.
Did you hear a particular team out of the NFC East that I didn't name in the top 5 or 10 or maybe even 12?
How about those Cowboys?
Oh, the Cowboys? I don't even know where they're at because they're so far down. They're the 3rd worst in all of football.
Jeez.
The Washington football team, they're plus 6,000. They're even lower than the Bears at plus 5,000.
No,
but nope. And here's a long shot play for you people out there. People that have extra money to throw around, throw a $50 on it. The Giants, with Saquon Barkley coming back, the defense getting back. If for some reason they made it to the Super Bowl and won it, it's a small investment for a major return. They're plus 8,000.
I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and read the rest of these comments, and then we're going to add another person to this. We're going to add Damian Adams from the Real Deal podcast. We'll get him on here in just a little bit.
Yeah, maybe he can make sense of this trade between the 49ers and the Dolphins, because I still don't get it.
Well, I tell you right now, we'll definitely get more into that. And again, if you guys want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they've done throughout this offseason, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Light put together a great team before Brady came in, but Brady was the right guy to finish it. Agree. Antoine Winfield didn't do anything wrong, plus the fact he's a breakout star now. Carl Hardy says the 2, Bucs time 12. This year's Super Bowl American Game DVD was on sale at Amazon. Washington says Carl, and Chris says Raiders did before that was free agency in the NFL. Bucs doing it in the era that makes it even more impressive. Exactly. David says, I just read the Ryan Suckup is the first Mr. Irrelevant to win a Super Bowl. And Teresa Baker says, hello, guys. What's going on, Teresa? Let's go out to Mr. Damian Adams of the Real Deal podcast. Welcome to the Evolution. And the talk has been down here, and the talk before the whole process, Damian, was the fact that the Bucs weren't going to be able to re-sign all their players, and yet here we sit as they re-sign Leonard Fournette today. Your thoughts? Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. I definitely appreciate it. And yeah, it's awesome that you guys have been able to re-sign everybody. It's, very rare that you can truly run it back. And that's what you guys are going to be able to do this year. So it's going to be interesting to see if the rest of the league can catch up to you. But I'm glad to see that you guys are able to actually run it back. It's actually really nice.
Put it in perspective a little bit. I mean, what Jason Light, Mike Greenberg, the Glazers, and this Buccaneer organization has done. I mean, you look at the statistics, and stats don't lie at the end of the day. The last team to return Week 1 starters of the Super Bowl season, the 1979 Steelers, who repeated as Super Bowl champions. And then the last team to return Super Bowl starters, 1977, the Raiders reached the AFC title game. So the talk this week has been, could the Buccaneers actually be a better team than they were last year? What's your opinion on that?
Definitely. I think so. When you think about the fact that last year you had the very, very weird offseason, and now this one isn't going to be your quote unquote normal one, but you'll have more time to get chemistry. You'll have more time to gel. You'll have that confidence of being a champion. I don't think there'll be any Super Bowl hangover because you guys have somebody who has conquered the Super Bowl hangover multiple times in Tom Brady, who will be able to help the rest of the team get over that. So if you think about just the fact that you have another year with the same unit going after the same goal, they have to be better. They have to be. If they're not better, it'll be shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I think, guys, and I think you guys would all agree, and we're on with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper, and, of course, Mr. Damian Adams of the Real Deal podcast. You look at it, you're going to have an off season, you're going to have a preseason, you're going to have players that are going to be both comfortable in the offense and also the defense. I mean, we went through it, Harry, with the teams. I mean, what do you think is the most competitive team besides Green Bay that could actually threaten the Bucs in the NFC this year?
Green Bay is not going to be a threat this year. The team that's going to compete with them are two of them. My dark horse team is going to be, I have two dark horse teams. It's either going to be Washington or the Giants, believe it or not, from
Wow.
the NFC least. That's my long shot, okay? The team that I know will be competitive this year, and if they stay healthy, will give the Bucs a run for their money, and those are the LA Rams right out of there with Matthew Stafford and company. That team is for real. They are stacked on defense. They just re-signed Leonard Floyd. They're just as fast on defense, and when you have arguably the best defensive player in football with Aaron Donald on the backside, running backs that can run, Cooper Kupp, and what did he catch, like 1,000 passes in the first half against Tampa in that game? I mean, I know I'm exaggerating, but that team can flat out ball, and they just got a lot better with Matthew Stafford up under center.
What do you say, Damien?
I definitely agree with the Rams. That's a very good pick there. I also would have to throw my New Orleans Saints into the mix. A lot of people are going to write us off because we no longer have Drew Brees.
Who that?
Who? But if you think about a team that beat the Bucs twice last season because of the surrounding talent, it's the New Orleans Saints, and most of the talent is still there, right? And for us, it's going to be the big question is, can we get Jameis Winston to get the most out of him? Can we get the potential out of Jameis Winston this upcoming season? If we can, this team is right there when it comes to the best in the NFC. Also, like you said, the Rams with Matthew Stafford depends on if Stafford is the guy that we believe he can be. If he is, the Rams are definitely going to be very, very good. That defense is phenomenal, like you mentioned. A team for me in the NFC that a lot of people may be sleeping on because they may be heading in a different direction is the 49ers. You mentioned that trade that they made earlier today. They may be heading for a quarterback, and if they're heading for a young quarterback, you may think, oh, man, they're heading for a rebuild. But we forget, when that team is healthy, that's a Super Bowl team. And they made it with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, we all know, isn't the best quarterback in the world. So if they get somebody who's an average to above average quarterback with a healthy team, they're definitely going to be one of the teams to compete in the NFC. So there'll be a lot of competition for Tampa Bay in the NFC.
Do we assume with that trade today, guys, at first I'll go to you, Harry, and then we'll go to you, Damien. Do we assume that because you're trading up to number 3 that you're drafting a quarterback? We don't think they're drafting a defensive player or a wide receiver. We think they're going to draft possibly a guy like, say, a Justin Fields or maybe the kid from North Dakota State, Trey Lance. Do we think they could go in that direction?
Well, I personally think that Trey Lance is the best quarterback coming out of the draft this year. That's just my own opinion.
Johnny, the professor, Johnny.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I've watched the kid's mechanics. He's got the most upside in all of football. And you shouldn't have said Johnny because Johnny and I never agree on anything. But with that being said, hell froze over. Hell froze over. But I did pick 88% this past year against the spread.
You did?
Yeah, yes, I did. And I honestly think he's gonna have probably the most upside. But it doesn't make a difference, in my opinion. With all due respect, if San Francisco does get a new quarterback, I don't believe they're rebuilding, but I think they're going to be an average team that runs the football and that can play extraordinary defense. But when they get a hold of a team like the Rams or even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they have to face them in the playoffs, they're talking about equal type of defenses, but the difference is two offenses that can really move the football. But I do understand where you're coming from. As far as your New Orleans Saints were concerned, you're correct. They are doing really well. They're in very bad cap space right now, if I'm not mistaken. Jameis Winston, if you can keep him below 30 interceptions, you might win 9 or 10 games this year. I can agree with that, but I don't see it happening with him.
So go ahead.
Just this year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with your concern on Jameis, right? We all know what his issue is when it comes to taking care of the football. Now, when it comes to San Francisco, they may draft a quarterback and have him sit down a year, right?
That would be smart.
Going after a guy, like you said, Trey Lance. If people believe in Trey Lance, a lot of people are saying that he could be one of those guys that may have to sit down for a while, learn the game from somebody, and then come in. So if you have it in that position, maybe they're setting themselves up for the future. You still have Jimmy G, who we've seen get to a Super Bowl. I'm not the biggest Jimmy G fan, but we did see him get there, right? So if he can still be that average to above average quarterback to not lose you the game, he's not going to win you the game. But if he's the quarterback to not lose you the game with the talent they have, if healthy, they could be one of the contenders in the NFC. So for me, I'm not mad at the trade that they made, because if they're going after a quarterback who they believe can be that future guy for them, a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the future, you have to go after that guy because we know how hard it is to find that guy. Like I mean, last time I was on the show, I made a joke about the Chicago Bears. They've been looking for a top 10 quarterback for 100 years now. So it's something that is very, very hard to do. So if you have a chance to get one of those guys, you have to go after them.
No, without question. I agree with you 100% on there. But I do think that Garoppolo's gone. Bar none. They are going to recoup something that they've lost, anything.
Well,
because San Francisco was pretty deep, if I'm not mistaken, correct, Peter, with draft picks?
Well, here's the thing. With Jimmy Garoppolo, the confusing thing is he still is owed about $25 million. So he's going to have to lower his salary if they want to trade him. So, and a lot of people have kind of said, well, he goes to the New England Patriots. The problem with that is some team is going to have to take on that $24 to $25 million. So first, are they going to be able to get his salary lowered? And then second, is there a team out there, if he doesn't lower his salary, to take him on? And then what kind of value, guys, does a Garoppolo have with him? You know, basically, you're 2 years removed from leading the 49ers to a Super Bowl, not able to make the big-time throws against Kansas City to win it, and then he's been off injured. I don't know how much value he has, even at, $25 million. To me, that kind of lowers his value, right?
Yeah. I'd have to say yes. What are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, because you look at somebody you mentioned who can't stay on the field. I think that's the biggest thing. There's going to be teams who believe they can make it to a Super Bowl with him because they see themselves having all the talent around the quarterback position to where they can compensate for Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. But if he's not there, then you're trying to compensate for the backup. And you can't take that chance with somebody who you still owe that amount of money. So he may have to restructure, like you said, to get traded. But if it's to a contender and he's not happy in that situation, he may be willing to restructure to try to prove himself. He may be willing to do a prove it deal like Jameis is on, like Cam Newton is on, to try to prove himself. And then if he does have a good year, can re-up again and make some big money.
Okay, now we talked about the quarterbacks that possibly could be drafted in the top 10. You have Clemson's Trevor Lawrence going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It looks like Zach Wilson is going to be drafted by the New York Jets, of course, according to his pro day. We talk about Justin Fields. We talk about North Dakota State's Trey Lance. But here's a name that nobody is talking about. According to NFL Network's Michael Silver, he tweeted out, no one should rule out Mac Jones as the 49ers selection over Fields and Lance. And also Chris Sims of NBC Sports has identified Jones as the target as well. So in your opinion, Harry, what you saw of Jones at Alabama, is that an immediate upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo?
No.
Okay.
No, that's just as simple as I'm going to get to you. Mac Jones shouldn't even be drafted in the first round, in my opinion. First off, you tell me when was the last time an Alabama quarterback even did anything good in the National Football League? Well, I understand they're the SEC. Let me finish. And let's go back to another thing when you said it looks like that the New York Jets are going to draft a quarterback. Again, I live on the edge. I still don't think they're going to get rid of Darnold. This team is too smart. They have so many draft picks and they've done so well in the NFL free agency that it would be ludicrous for them to give up on Sam Darnold at this point. I know that there's a certain individual that lives in North Jersey right now that wants to throw up when I say this because he can't stand him. But I'm telling you, Jacob, look into the camera. Your team will finish over 500 this year and make the playoffs possibly if you stick with Sam Darnold and you actually protect him with that draft. If it was me, I would trade that second pick and get the entire world and build this team around that young man.
Well, here's my thing. I think these guys don't necessarily believe in a Darnold, and they're not his guy. That's what it comes down to. This coach that got hired, did he say to the coaching or did he say to the administration of the Jets, look, this is not my guy. I want my own guy. Because you look at what the Arizona Cardinals situation, and we go back to Josh Rosen. It still works. He was right. He was supposedly the guy, and then the coach that they got, he wanted someone else. So is it out of the realm of possibility here, Damian, that maybe the Jets basically turn the page on a Sam Darnold and go and draft a Zach Wilson at number 2?
It's definitely not out of the realm that they go and draft the quarterback out of BYU. But I do agree with Harry. I think Sam Darnold deserves a chance to be with a stable organization. Like, has he had any type of stability in his career at all? So
No.
let's give him a chance to be with a stable organization, have a coach for a while, have the same offensive coordinator for a while, have some weapons to throw to, have some protection, and we can see what he can do. Because they're going to look really, really bad. They trade him to any team right now that comes to mind that needs a quarterback, and he goes there and thrives and becomes a Pro Bowl type quarterback. And the guy they draft, there's a possibility it could be a bust. There's a 50% chance that quarterbacks in the first round bust out.
I mean, let's face it. He's battle tested. He's been on his back how many different times? He hasn't had a running game. And Peter, and guys, I didn't mean to interrupt you because that was kind of rude to me to do that, but I just have to get this point in here. This new head coach for the Jets, let's face it, they're not going to be an offensive juggernaut. This guy believes in playing defense and running football. And brother, that's how you win football games. And you have the best quarterback to be able to do that. He has a set of wheels. He's average at reading defenses. But you know what? When you run the ball first and you pull that eighth person up in the box, you don't have to be a juggernaut and the most student person of the game to read a defense, because you're going to find that open receiver because they're going to respect the running game. And that's why they need to keep Sam Darnold in there, because he can run and he can throw.
I will tell you this, as Wilson, he may have more upside than a Darnold at this point, and they may be able to deal a Darnold to a quarterback-starved team like the Chicago Bears or some other teams.
Why? Wait a minute. They've got Andy Dalton, baby. Let's go.
Andy Dalton. Yeah. Would you take a Sam Darnold over an Andy Dalton?
Right now.
Okay, there you go. You answered my question. Now, coming out of this, and some of this is from Brett Sobieski of Bleacher Report. He was going winners and losses. He says the Cincinnati Bengals could be the biggest winner out of this, simply because not only are most of these teams in the top 5 drafting a quarterback, but that'll give the opportunity for the Bengals to either draft an offensive lineman, which they'll be able to go with, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this kid's name right, Penei Sewell out of Oregon as a left tackle, which I think you have to run to the podium if he's on the board, or LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase, which was the favorite target of a Joe Burrow. If you're the Cincinnati Bengals and you're picking in that top 5, what are you taking? A left tackle to protect Burrow's blind side, or a wide receiver that he's familiar with LSU?
Oh, if I'm there, I got to go left tackle.
Okay.
We already saw what happened to Burrow when he didn't have protection during last season, and he's the asset, right? If you have great wide receivers, it doesn't matter if he's on the ground, right? So you need to protect him, build from the inside out. That's the best way to build offensive line, defensive line, then get your great weapons as you go along. And you might find yourself that you have great weapons already there. They just haven't had time to mature because he hasn't had time to throw the ball. So if you get him time to throw the ball, maybe find some weapons there that you already have. So I definitely would go offensive line if I was Cincinnati.
I say get them both. But first, I would draft that wide receiver because he has to have someone to throw to. I would try to draft a left tackle, but maybe in the later rounds because they're going to be developmental anyway. But I would have tried to grab one of these left tackles that were in free agency. Unfortunately, they're not there, but there's still a couple coming up when they start to cut the rest of these players and don't make the team. And that's just my opinion.
And that's the reason why Harry and Damian, I think they go with the left tackle. I agree with Damian on this.
Yep.
You go with the left tackle to protect your franchise quarterback's backside. You can get a wide receiver. It's deep this year in the 2nd or the 3rd round. I get it. You lost to AJ Green. But wide receivers can be had in the 2nd or 3rd round. Guys that can protect a quarterback.
You're right. You're both right on that one. You can get really good wide receivers in the 2nd and 3rd round. So can I change my mind too? Can I be with the cool kids here?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right, I changed my mind. I want the left tackle first, and then I want the wide receiver because I want to be with the cool guys.
Well, percentage, give me a gambling percentage here that you think the Bengals will draft a left tackle over a wide receiver percentage.
What number pick are they?
Believe number 5.
Oh, I wish Jacob Charnell was on there. Yeah, I guarantee they're going to probably take a left tackle, and they're probably going to grab the best one because everybody's going to be taking quarterbacks in the first couple of picks. Actually, the first 3 picks, I think 2 quarterbacks are going to go. So, yes, I do think a left tackle is going to be available.
So over under percentage wise, they draft Sewell out of Oregon or a left tackle like him.
I agree. Over.
How much percentage?
I'm going to say if he's there and he's available.
Yep.
100.
Wow. Okay. There you go. 100%. They draft him. And I think it's a foregone conclusion. You've got to run to that
If
post.
Sewell from Oregon is still there at 5,
Yeah.
because I didn't remember they're drafted at that 5th pick.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't take a wide receiver that early in the draft.
Well,
I mean, Devin White. Anybody remember that name?
yeah, definitely. Well, that's a linebacker. That's
No, not that White. I'm talking about the other White.
Kevin White.
Kevin White. Thank you, Kevin White. Why do I got Devin White in my mind?
Well, it's because he's a Buccaneer linebacker. That's why you're on Bucs Report right now on the Evolution Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with my professional handicapper, Harry the Greek. Of course, we've got Damian Adams, the Real Deal Podcast. Really quick, go ahead and promote your podcast on the Evolution.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's called The Real Deal with Damian Adams. You can subscribe to it on any podcast platform. And I also do a podcast called the 3rd and 3 Podcast. That one's more football focused as well. So you listen to podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, go ahead and subscribe to both The Real Deal with Damian Adams and the 3rd and 3 Podcast.
And of course, it looks like he's got a Boys in the Hood shirt there, which I like. Looks like Doughboy there, Ice Cube playing Doughboy, which is one of the classic movies of all time. I like that little.
I want to ride one of them big bicycles again. You remember what was the tassels? What was that guy's name again? Hold on.
Are you talking about from Friday, Debo?
Yeah, Debo. That's right, man. I had this guy that works for me over at the shop. And he weighs about 260, 270 pounds.
Oh, he got on your video and said, "Don't mess with the Greek." And I was like,
"Yeah,
that's not gonna mess with him."
That's right. Doesn't he look like Debo? His name is Silas. I got to give a shout out to my boy over at Tires Plus at Tyrone Mall. He's about 6'4", 6'5", 265, 270, and he rode his bicycle to the shop because he lives like maybe 2 blocks away. And it's got the big horns and the tassels, man. He's riding out, there's a whole 9 yards. And I was like, holy cow, man, here comes Debo. He's rolling up and he was like, hey, what's up? He said, I just need to get my exercise, man. With the bald head, the whole 9 yards is just dripping. He's like, what, man? What do you need?
Very intimidating for sure. Of course, Tiny Lister, rest in peace. He passed away this year, which is crazy in itself.
Did he really?
Yeah, he passed away. Yep.
Oh, that's sad.
Yep. All right. One of the other big losers in this would be the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, Jeffrey Lurie says, I want to do everything he can do to help Jalen Hurts be successful. Yet, guys, you have a need at wide receiver. You have an opportunity to get one of the top wide receivers, and now you're at pick 12. What in the world, Harry, are the Philadelphia Eagles doing?
Your guess is as good as mine. I try to defend them the past 3 weeks. This is ludicrous. They're doing absolutely nothing for this young man's confidence. You're going to need to get a wide receiver, especially with no. Why is my brain not working tonight? Alshon Jeffrey's gone. Yeah. They're trying to get rid of Zach. They're trying to get rid of Zach Ertz. Yeah. Who are they going to throw the ball to? And better yet, who's going to run the football?
Well, they have some running backs there. You have the kid Miles Sanders, who hasn't been able to stay healthy. You got him. You got
okay, you're right. Who's going to block? There's the other point.
Well, there you go. But you trade to the number 12 spot. What are the Philadelphia Eagles doing, Damien?
I think they may be doing this just to rub it in the Giants fans' faces. Because you remember, the only reason they had that number 6 pick was because they threw that last game against Washington where the Giants could have gotten the playoffs. So you do all that to get this number 6 pick, and then you trade it away. If I'm a Giants fan, I'm just beyond myself. I can't believe that they did this. You think about the fact that we could have made the playoffs. If I'm speaking as a Giants fan, if I was a Giants fan, we could have made the playoffs. You guys said, nope, we're going to put Nate Sudfeld in. We're not going to try to win this game because we want this pick so bad. And then you trade it away. And for what? Just to move back and maybe get a wide receiver who's not as wanted as the one that you could get at 6. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. That's the only thing that could come to mind to make any sense of it.
I'm going to say this much. Any team that's going to draft a wide receiver in the top 10, their name better be Calvin Johnson. That's all I'm going to say. Because I have seen enough top 10 wide receivers go in the past 20 years, and I'll tell you more bust than there have been productive ones. Now, after the top 10, oh, yeah, now you're getting your value. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say more second and third rounders actually make a better impact in the National Football League than first rounders do.
I don't think that's far-fetched because you look at the wide receiving bust rate. That's been known to happen. That's the reason why a lot of people stay away from wide receivers with the first-round pick. But you look at Mike Evans. Is there a Mike Evans talent? He was a number 7th overall pick. You talked about Calvin Johnson. Randy Moss, of course, went later on, but he was definitely a top 10 pick talent. He just slid because of the character issues with him. Now, with this trade and the Dolphins getting the 6th overall pick with their trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, are we sure now, Harry and Damian, that they are set on a Tua, or could they shift these picks to the Seattle Seahawks and possibly trade for a Russell Wilson? Harry, go.
You know, I don't know if Miami's going to offer them what the Chicago Bears did. I'm going to go ahead and reiterate it because I know this to be factual.
Mm-hmm.
Miami's going to have to give them half a football team because Chicago offered them not 1, 2, but 3 first-round draft picks. Was it also a third-round draft pick, Peter?
I believe so, yes. It was
3 first-rounders, a third-rounder, and 2 defensive starters, and one of them being, you ready? Khalil Mack. Okay. And if they didn't take that offer, trust me, they're going to want literally the entire draft from Miami, and Miami's not doing it. So I give that less than a 10% chance of going to Miami. Let's not even bring that up. That should be a dead issue. So by me saying that, the deal will be done by tomorrow.
All right, Russell Wilson to the Miami Dolphins. Damian, it seems to make sense. I mean, you have the defense there. You got some weapons. They went after. They got Will Fuller. I mean, what did you think of that deal? And are they just a quarterback away, or do you go with the Tua here in the next couple of years and you believe that eventually he's not only going to make you competitive, but also a playoff contender? And eventually, if you're drafting him in the first round, most likely a Super Bowl contender.
Well, like Harry said, if you're going to get Russell Wilson, you got to trade so much to get him, right? That's one of the reasons I said that the Saints wouldn't be able to get him, because we would have to trade so much to get him. By the time he got here, he would just have a carcass of what he thought was the Saints by the time he got to him to play with. So if you're going to get a quarterback like Russell Wilson and you don't have anything left when you trade for him, it doesn't make sense to get him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have Tua on a rookie contract and you're able to build around him and have all this talent around him, it can ironically be just like Seattle was when Russell Wilson was young. When he was on a rookie deal, they had all this talent around him because he was so cheap at quarterback. Now, of course, Tua is going to cost more because he's a first-round pick, but you still have a very cheap quarterback, compared to the Dak Prescotts of the world and all the other established quarterbacks. So if I'm Miami, I'm staying put with that. You only saw, 8 games of Tua? We got to see more.
Mm-hmm.
So I would stay put with that. I would build with these draft picks because they're not only just stacked this year in the first 3 rounds, they're stacked for next year and the year after. So their picks are going to be awesome for the next 3 years. Why not build around him and also be able to go through free agency because you have that cheap quarterback?
And by the way, are the Miami Dolphins on one of the teams that Russell said that he would go to? Because I don't recall that being one of the teams. I thought it was Chicago, and
it wasn't.
If it wasn't, it's definitely it's a moot point. That's just a conversation piece there. Then
I'm just saying it would make sense with all the.
What's wrong with Deshaun Watson, guys? I mean, so far.
No, don't go down that road.
No, I'm talking about trades, guys. I'm not going down that road. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I mean, why people shouldn't be giving up on him? I mean, there's a possibility that he could still go to Miami. He had ties there, didn't he?
I don't think Watson. No, Watson doesn't want to go, and it was confirmed that Watson doesn't want to go to Miami or the Jets. That's why the Texans have not been able to make a trade. So, and I think right now his stuff is just up in the air. So, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole again. But speaking of legal troubles, and this refers to your star cornerback today, Marshawn Lattimore was arrested Thursday night in Cleveland on suspicion of possessing a stolen handgun. And it says Lattimore was found to have a loaded handgun in his possession. That handgun was later determined to be stolen. He was arrested for failure to notify and for receiving stolen property. These facts both make the NFL personal conduct policy and its weapons policy relevant to Lattimore's case. What are you hearing there in New Orleans? What do you think it's going to happen? Do you think the NFL could suspend him? I mean, this is not good for a Saints team that, of course, is going through somewhat of losing a lot of talent. You definitely don't want to lose a Lattimore, right, Damian?
No, you definitely don't. I was, not happy to see that come across my phone this morning. And with that type of, I guess, crime that he's, alleged to do, that's something that can carry a 4 to 6 game suspension, even if he's not found guilty, just on the fact of, we've seen it before with someone like Ezekiel Elliott,
Right.
just on the principle of it all, you can get 6 games. So that definitely can cost the Saints in a major way. We haven't gotten that much information on it yet. But for Lattimore, you just got to be more responsible than that. I just don't get it when professional athletes get caught up in things like this. Like, you got too much to lose to have just be in any type of situation like this. So hopefully, the best comes from it. He learns a lesson and maybe he gets, a minimal suspension. As a Saints fan, I'm hoping that, it's only 2 games and there's no actual legal trouble that comes of it. But just got to do better, man. But as a Saints fan, it's definitely concerning, and we're just waiting for more information to come out.
Yeah, I mean, he's 24 years old, first-round choice out of the Ohio State University, along with Ezekiel Elliott. Surprise, surprise, Urban Meyer was there as the coach when both of these guys were there, just saying. But again, made 3 Pro Bowls, including in 2020, and he's entering the final year of his rookie year deal to earn $10.244. So overall, I mean, look, if he gets suspended, the good part about it, if there's anything good about it, of course, maybe that lowers his value down and it gives the Saints a break. But of course, you don't want to lose your top corner in Lattimore. What kind of impact do you think it would have on that back end if you lose Lattimore for an extended period of time, Damian?
It's major. It's major. We've already lost Jenkins. We're thinking maybe we'll draft a defensive back in a draft, but you don't want to draft him to come in and be the top guy right away. You don't want to have a rookie out there guarding the Mike Evans of the world. So it'll have a major impact. We have to have our defensive line really step it up and bring pressure so that our back end isn't seeing all of the different things that offenses can do, especially with a rookie back there. So it'll be just not good. So it's something that, for me, I hope that it comes to where we, find out that this isn't as bad as we think it is. It's not a long suspension, but if we do lose Lattimore for an extended period of time, it can really cost the Saints some games, because that's how important he is to the defense. When you have a cornerback who can stick his side of the field, it frees up so much more for the rest of your defense to do, as far as blitz looks. If you go man to man, if you go zone on one side, you can do so many different things if you have a really good cornerback. And if you don't, it limits your defense so much. So Lattimore is huge for the Saints' success.
Absolutely. And Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, Peter. I personally think that the New Orleans Saints need to, if Marshawn Lattimore, let's just say hypothetically, he does get suspended, they ought to bring that trash-talking guy that really should be exposed. And I keep forgetting his names, but I think he had, 2 fights this year? One with Javon Wims and one with Anthony Miller.
Gardner Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Gardner Johnson. I think they need to put him right on an island against some Mike Evans and just let him get run over a couple times, because I think someone's going to shut that guy's mouth up this year.
Well, I tell you what, you can say whatever you want to about Gardner Johnson, and there's been everything that's been said about the kid, but he is highly talented.
Oh yeah, he's highly talented. He really he says it all the time too.
He's definitely versatile. He can play both positions at safety and of course at corner. So that may be where they're looking at. To give you a little bit more details on the situation here, Lattimore was a passenger in a car stopped by police for multiple traffic violations. 2 other passengers were arrested for having weapons. While under disability, the driver was arrested for improper handling of a firearm and a motor vehicle and issued a citation for driving without working taillights. So just a bad situation overall for the Saints at this point with all the losses. How are fans? What's kind of the fans' expectations of the Saints there, Damian, with all the losses and, of course, the big one being Brees?
Well, right now we're in a state of unknown. We just don't know what to expect. We expect to be competitive because even with the cap issues, we kept our core intact, right? I mentioned last time I was on the show, we have our offensive line intact. We have Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. Most of our defense is still intact. We just did some maneuvering. We saw the way we did the fancy Taysom Hill contract with all avoidable years to save money. The Saints are very savvy when it comes to maneuvering around the cap. Even every year our cap numbers are crazy, but somehow we get underneath it, and they're very savvy at doing that. So we're able to keep talent. But of course, without Breeze, you're going into a new era, and you're just wondering what will happen. Will Jameis be able to turn his career around with us? Or will it be a year where we know now, okay, Jameis isn't that good. We have to go in a different direction, maybe in the draft. So right now, the Saints fans, we're just in a state of unknown going forward. It's kind of exciting, but it's also nerve-wracking. It's very anxious, if you will, that we don't know what exactly is going to happen. But we still believe this is a winning football team because of the talent that's still there. So I can see us going 10-6, 11-5 if Jameis is able to
with who? Jameis?
Yes, sir.
You just say that with Jameis Winston?
Look,
yes, sir.
This is going to be my first bet. I'm going to give you. I'll tell you what, gentlemen's bet. I'll exchange off air with you right now.
Okay.
I will give you 3-1 on your money and give you more than 9 wins.
Oh wow!
Oh,
Okay.
Are you taking?
I will.
You taking it, or you name the dollar amount? We'll exchange phone numbers.
Yeah, virtual handshake.
Virtual handshake.
Yes,
you can look me up under Facebook under Harry Berg. Friend request me, and you can name the dollar amount, and I'll give you 3-1 on your money right now.
Okay.
But remember, if they don't go over 9 wins, it's not 9's not a winner. That's a push. 9 and under.
Look, it's definitely possible. He could get over 9 wins because of Jameis Winston and the ability to throw the ball. And of course, you still have Michael Thomas there. You still have an Alvin Kamara. You still have most of your offensive line there. He's got the potential, of course.
They still got the slant master. What was it?
he's got Michael Thomas. And,
that's it, the slant master.
And here's the thing. I'll say this, with Drew Brees not being able to throw the ball deep, that's one thing Winston can do over Taysom Hill and over a Brees. So you definitely
anytime you got Alvin Kamara in that backfield, you can make a team look so much better. Let me tell you something. Offensively, that team could be extremely explosive. But then again, they're not going to be able to keep a whole bunch of those players, and a lot of them aren't going to be able to stay because of that cap casualty. And for your sake, I know you're big in the New Orleans Saints. I just don't see it this year. I see them with a real regression this year because of no Drew Brees.
And it's certainly possible. It's certainly possible, but we all know what was Sean Payton and what he can do, the magic he can do with quarterbacks, and what he did with Bridgewater when Bridgewater had to replace a Brees. You have a Winston who can throw the ball down the field. We've seen it before here with the Bucs, so he's got lots of potential. Again, it always comes down to the turnovers. Can he alleviate those? If he can, then the Saints could definitely be a dark horse in that NFC South. With all that being said, let's go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The big-time story yesterday was that the Bucs could have strong considerations or strongly pursuing a Larry Fitzgerald. Harry, what do you think of the possibility of having a Larry Fitzgerald over an Antonio Brown? In my opinion, I think it's somewhat of a step back, although Fitzgerald in his career has been a very dependable wide receiver, had 54 receptions last year, but I think he's seen his best days. People connect the dots. They say Arians and the wide receiving coach and Byron Leftwich. What do you say?
You know what? Look, Larry Fitzgerald is a stud of a wide receiver, even at the age he is now. He's not as fast as he was. He still runs absolutely precision routes. He's got great hands, and any team would be blessed to be able to have him. But if I had to make a choice, I'm going to have to say Antonio Brown. I mean, this guy runs better routes than anybody in football. He's faster than Fitzgerald. He's probably got the same hands, if not better, and he's still one of the best receivers in football. And again, I'm one of the most critical people about Antonio Brown. And then there's Bucs fans that are out there that are saying, well, why not just get both of them? Well, I think that's a bad idea because I think you're going to stop the development into a Scotty Miller and as well as Tyler Johnson, which is extremely important because if everybody remembers, his heir apparent was for Chris Godwin was going to be a Tyler Johnson. At some point, they're going to have to get this young man in. But getting back to the original question, I'd much rather have Antonio Brown on the team than a Larry Fitzgerald. But if we're talking about personalities and off-field conduct issues, you'd say Larry Fitzgerald. But I'm going to have to say Antonio Brown.
Yeah, talent-wise, to me, Brown is, a better receiver at this point than a Larry Fitzgerald. That's not to say that Fitzgerald is not a Hall of Famer. I'm just not sure if he's got something left in the tank. What do you say, Damian?
Yeah, I completely agree with Harry. You got to go with talent here. Antonio Brown, we see when he is healthy, when he's good to go, he is still one of the top receivers in his league. Now, not top 10 anymore, but he still could be a top 20 receiver in this league if he has a full season under his belt with a Tom Brady. We see they have a connection there. So Antonio Brown is the better receiver of the two right now. Larry Fitzgerald, like you said, great character guy, great leader, but that is all well and good, but you don't really need that in Tampa Bay. You guys are the defending Super Bowl champions. So it's not like you're a team that's, okay, we have some issues. We need a good leader to come to the locker room. You don't. You don't need that. So with Larry Fitzgerald, that would just be cool if you added him, but it wouldn't be something that you need. It wouldn't be a necessity. It'll just be like a luxury. It'll be the cherry on top of the sundae, not the actual ice cream.
You know, I got a question for you though. But when you said that just a second ago about the defending Super Bowl champions, did your blood like start to boil, go cold? Did you feel lightheaded? I mean, because I know you love New Orleans and everything. I'm just curious, please. Can we get a full screen of them? And I just want you to do it again. Just say it again. What were those Buccaneers?
You guys got the bragging rights. You guys are the defending Super Bowl champions. It's ironic.
Lord.
It seems like every time the Saints beat you guys twice in the regular season, you guys win the Super Bowl. It happened in 2002 as well. So, yeah, you guys are the defending Super Bowl champions. Does it hurt a little bit? It does. It does.
Come on, you can admit it. It stings just a smidge.
Listen to you starting trouble wrong with my
Hey man, it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's a good rivalry. Who's the biggest rival of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? It's the New Orleans Saints, and we have the gentleman right here. So if we could just pick on him a little bit, it just makes us feel better.
Right there,
I'm kidding you, man. You have been awesome.
And we got the bottoms of the Real Deal podcast. We'll wrap it up with that there. Do you expect the Saints possibly with some cuts later on in free agency? Could they make some moves, or do you think they have the team? What do you expect them to do next? Because I know a lot of Bucs fans are still concerned about the Saints. We talked about the talent. Would you expect them to do anything here in the next week or two?
No, I'm not expecting anything big before the draft. We've made the moves to get under the cap, quote unquote, with all the restructuring of deals that we've done. So I think we pretty much have our team outside of the draft. Now we have to wait and see what happens with this Marshawn Lattimore situation. If it comes up that it's something that we have to worry about legally, with him maybe even missing more time than we expect, maybe we go after a cornerback because we would definitely need one if he's not there. But I think our team is pretty much set. And I'm looking at the roster. I think we have a really good roster, one of the best in the league. So I'm not really concerned about the roster per se. The biggest concern is quarterback. Can Jameis be what we think he can be? But I can trust in Sean Payton. Sean Payton has been an excellent offensive genius for us for the past 15 years now. So I trust in him. If he believes in Jameis, I believe that he can bring the best out of Jameis. And I have to trust in that. And that's why I'm willing to take that bet with Harry about us getting more than 9 wins.
All right. I like it. Let me go ahead and have you promote yourself here. Promote this podcast once again, Mr. Damian Adams.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me on. It's always a joy, even with you guys being defending Super Bowl champions. And I have to say that.
Oh, 3 times. 3 times.
But anybody who's watching right now, listening, you can find my podcast, The Real Deal with Damian Adams, on all podcast platforms. On that show, I talk football, basketball, boxing. We have a good time. It's always fun. The 3rd and 3 podcast I do along with Jason Fearman and Nikki Just. It's mostly football podcast, but we also talk pop culture as well. Some basketball right now since we're heavy in the basketball season. So please subscribe to The Real Deal with Damian Adams and the 3rd and 3 podcast on any podcast platform.
Really quick, I want to talk NBA basketball. What do you think the extent of that injury is going to be for LeBron James, and what's going to be the impact to the Lakers? It says 4 to 6 weeks with that high ankle sprain. I mean, that's got to be concerning to the Lakers, although 4 to 6 weeks, that basically if the Lakers can, tread some water here, if you will, LeBron will be able to come back and lead that team to a championship with or without an Anthony Davis. Your thoughts?
I think the impact of this injury has not been covered enough. So if he's out 4 to 6 weeks, they've already lost all the games without him. And Anthony Davis is still a mystery on when he's going to come back. So when I was going over it on my show, they could legit go 3-13, 3-14, something like that during the span. In the Western Conference, it's really, really tight right now in the standings. So they can find themselves in the 7th, 8th, even 9th seed. Now, this year, because of the shortened season, the NBA is doing basically 10 playoff teams. They're having play-in games with the 7, 8, 9, and 10 seed. So the Lakers are going to find themselves in that position to be in a play-in game, which is dangerous, right? Because you hit a hot team like a Memphis, like maybe a New Orleans Pelicans, whoever can get into those Final Four spots. And maybe you find the Lakers in danger of missing the playoffs with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the squad later in the year.
I would love it.
This injury is major. And the Lakers can find themselves on the outside looking in of the playoff race.
Who I like in the West is the Denver Nuggets.
Well, look, they made the trade with the Orlando Magic for an Aaron Gordon. Let me ask you this, Damian and Harry. Is it good for a superstar like LeBron James to be out? Because then it basically provides that parity for the other NBA teams where fans can say, well, because LeBron is not with the Lakers and Anthony Davis is not with the Lakers, maybe teams like a Denver, maybe a team like the LA Clippers has now a legitimate shot to win an NBA championship. Or in your opinion, is it not good for the NBA with superstars out?
It's definitely not good with LeBron James because LeBron James is such a big star. Unlike the NFL, like when NFL, if a quarterback gets hurt, you still have the brand of the Green Bay Packers, the brand of the Patriots, whoever the team is. With the NBA, is more of a player-driven league. So when LeBron is out, along with Joel Embiid right now, along with Kevin Durant right now, along with Anthony Davis right now, it does hurt the league because now any casual fan, we turn that game on ESPN, you see the Lakers versus the Nets, and neither Kevin Durant, LeBron James, or Anthony Davis is in, you're most likely flipping the channel that night. You're like, oh, okay, the wife said she wanted to watch a movie. We could watch the movie tonight instead of watching the game because those star players aren't in. So I think for the NBA, they need those star players to be in. Now, as far as the parity, it does help with that. It's going to make it more drama-filled when those guys come back. Like I mentioned, you could see the Lakers in the play-in games instead of being one of the teams that's already solidified in the playoffs. And now the ratings for that game will be phenomenal. If they're in the play-in game versus a Memphis to get into the playoffs, everybody's watching that game. So it could be something that could turn around to be good at the end, but right now it's bad.
Speaking of bad, really quick, and I know, Harry, you want to talk about this, but I'm an Orlando Magic fan, and I hate to admit this, but, you know, it seems like every 3 or 4 years, and it seems like they were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, resetting with new general manager, new coach, new players. What are the Magic doing? They're getting rid of their all-star player in a Vukovic. You're getting rid of an Aaron Gordon. You're getting rid of an Evan Fournier. Is this the way to go if you're the Magic? And how should Magic fans feel at this point?
I think the Bulls are happy about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, why would they not be happy about it? The guy's having career highs. He's having a career year. But Damian, what do you think the Magic are doing at this point?
Oh, the Magic are rebuilding. They tore down the whole house. they tore down everything. Before they tore it down, they had a yard sale and just gave everything away for $5. Like, it's a total rebuild. And hopefully for Magic fans, they're able to find that diamond in the rough in the draft, get some free agents next year. But this year is definitely just down the drain. Like, I don't know why anybody would tune in to a Magic game this year. And just in case you're looking to see how bad they're going to be. But they gave away everybody. The Bulls, I like to move for the Bulls. The Bulls are going to be relevant now with Vukovic and Zach LaVine being the top two guys.
They finally got a center in Chicago.
Yeah. No, it's for the first time since, Derrick Rose era, the Bulls are going to be relevant now. With Denver, you mentioned the Aaron Gordon move. I like that move a lot. I think Aaron Gordon fits in perfectly alongside Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. I think that's a really good move there for them. And with Evan Fournier, the Boston Celtics needed another scorer, somebody else from a guard position who can shoot a three consistently, who can come in and get his own shot. So I like the moves that the teams made to trade with the Magic. If you're a Magic fan right now, you're just hoping that eventually they can find that star in the draft. But it's been a little rough since the Dwight Howard era there.
Well, you know what? Like my boy Ice Cube says, today was a good day, brother. Because LeBron James is down. Not that I'm wishing bad on him, but I don't like store-bought teams. And that started back in Miami and everywhere else you're going to go. I don't like store-bought teams. Do you hear me, Golden State? I don't like store-bought teams. Do you hear me, New Jersey Nets?
Now,
I don't like store-bought teams.
To be fair,
go Denver, baby.
The Golden State developed their players. They went and picked up a Kevin Durant. It was Durant's choice. And look, Durant was just following LeBron's lead on that.
How'd they do so far with Durant out there?
They won a couple of championships, so they done pretty well.
I understand. How they doing now? Wait a minute. Is he still playing?
He is for Brooklyn, which, by the way,
he's totally irrelevant now.
Well, wait a minute now. Maybe right now, but the Brooklyn Nets, in your opinion, Damien, if they can get the right players back at the right time, are they going to be the one that we look to in the East that basically represents the NBA team in the finals, in your opinion?
Yeah, definitely. The way James Harden is playing right now, he's playing at an MVP level. I didn't like the way that he left Houston or the way that he orchestrated his way out of Houston. But once he got to Brooklyn, we saw why he's such a special talent and why there was such a big hoopla about him, right? He is amazing. Kyrie Irving, when he's on the court, is amazing. Kevin Durant, when the thing with him is, I don't know what his injury is. He's been out for a while. At first, it was just a hamstring. He's been doing second and third looks, and he's still not back. It's kind of scary with a player who's coming off an Achilles injury. Now, pre-hamstring, he was balling. He was looking like the best player we've ever seen come off an Achilles injury. He was in the MVP conversation and everything. So once he comes back, if he's healthy, that team's going to be hard to beat. But the Eastern Conference is definitely not going to be a cakewalk. You got Milwaukee, who's playing phenomenal right now. Once Philadelphia gets Joel Embiid back, the combination of Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Ben Simmons is
good team there, man. Really good team there in Philadelphia. When they're stroking, they're stroking. Chicago's going to be improved, but not like Philadelphia. I mean, Chicago's going to be improved. I didn't say they were going anywhere.
Exactly. Now, Chicago would be nice, but they won't be in the championship conversation with these upper echelon teams in the Eastern Conference.
Not even close. Another year. Billy Donovan's doing an excellent job up there.
Now another year, another piece for Chicago, a really good point guard, I think, would really be the difference there in Chicago to add with Levine and Vukovic. But Brooklyn definitely should be the favorite, but it's not going away. There's still so much there in the Eastern Conference to deal with. But that talent, when you talk about those three guys, you got 3 top 15 guys on the same team who can all get their own bucket at any time. No one in the league can stop those guys.
I'll tell you what, Brooklyn's probably going to win the championship this year if they allow Harden 3 steps every shot.
Well, I mean, they definitely do that in the NBA. Really quick, NCAA champion, in case we don't get to hear from you again. Who do you like? Is it Gonzaga a bust for you?
Yeah, for me, my bracket's been done. Like, it was done the first day. I had Ohio State going to the Final Four, and they lost to Oral Roberts in the first day. So yeah, it was pretty rough for me. But out of the teams that are left, I really do look Gonzaga. Alabama's a really good team as well. Baylor is really good. So they still have a few good teams there. Loyola Chicago is a really good story, but I think if they run into a Gonzaga or Alabama, they'll lose. But I have to go with Gonzaga just because we haven't seen them be bad this year. We've seen them have to overcome some adversity, but they've always overcome it, and they're just very well coached. Have talent there. So I think they are and should be the odds-on favorite to win a title this year.
I love when people say the good story of Loyola is Chicago. Do you realize that good story is in the Sweet 16 and they're an 11-point favorite in this game? I just want you to think about that. That's a good story. A good story is Oral Roberts.
No, yeah, Oral Roberts Chicago, is definitely more of the Cinderella story. Loyola,
absolutely. Yeah. Well, they were the Cinderella. Yeah. Right, they're no longer Cinderella. But yours truly had them win in the first round and beating Illinois to make it to the Sweet 16. I did have Oral Roberts beating Ohio State, but losing to Florida.
Well, there you go, my friend. That's our professional handicapper.
I wish that Florida would have won that game because my bracket was so far intact, it wasn't even funny.
All right. Damian Adams, we're talking NFL, we're talking NBA and NCAA. Thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. All right?
All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great rest of your night.
All right,
Damian, thank you for your service, by the way. I read your bio. Don't forget, hit that accept button on there. Thanks for your service, brother.
Oh, will do, and no problem at all. It was a pleasure.
You're awesome, man.
I appreciate you, buddy. There you go. Mr. Damian Adams of The Real Deal podcast. We'll bring him back in. We'll read the rest of these comments, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. Spirited edition of the evolution of sports talk television, the sports web. Again, open phone lines if you want to talk to us. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. WTF. Russell says 49ers lost their DC. So Clack 5 White says Saints going with Hill and Winston if Hill hits the wall. Russell says, I like to see us get Kyle Trask. That's been talked about. It happens. Look at the Bucs and Steve Young. Very true. Trent Dilfer. Yep. Smilegate. Sam is gone. You can only win. Your team has the quarterback on the rookie contract. Sam's on his 3rd year. They aren't going to pick up his 5th year option when it costs so much. Take the real rookie, says Smilegate. Bus turned into champs. Remember D.L. Bennett. That would be, I think that's Michael Bennett. I think that's who you're talking about. Andy Dalton, MVP. I tell you what, let's go out to one of our favorite webheads here. Mr. Williams, welcome to the evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. What do you have to say?
My man, how are you?
I'm doing great,
you know
buddy.
Who this is, right?
I definitely know who this is, Mr. Williams. And how happy are you that the Bucs re-signed Lombardi Lenny today? They did the contract for Donovan Smith, and they re-signed a Sue. How do you feel about these moves, buddy?
But me and you talked, and I told you, Sue, we're gonna give him a little money to keep him happy, to make sure that he don't get a chance to go nowhere else.
Exactly.
Leonard Fournette, he didn't want to walk, man, because he feels in his heart he could get another one, and I don't blame him because he's seen everybody else came back.
Exactly.
And now, Antonio Brown, I don't know.
Is it Antonio Brown for you, or is it a Larry Fitzgerald, which has been talked about in NFL circles where the Bucs are strongly pushing for Fitzgerald? What do you say?
Really, I say, put two moves Scotty out there as another receiver, man.
So you're not in favor of Fitzgerald. You're in favor of Brown, going with Brown, Tyler Johnson, and Scotty Miller, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why not?
But all right, if Brown don't come back, okay, cool. Let's put Scotty Miller out there and let's let him go to work, man.
No Fitzgerald? No, you're not interested in Larry Fitzgerald? A Hall of Fame career, 54 catches last year? Okay. All right.
No, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Larry, he's a good guy, and you know, if we get him. That's cool. But let's not wait until when we really need a big play and put these guys on the field, man.
Gotcha.
Let's use them now.
Gotcha.
Especially two moves, Scotty. Let's use them now, man.
All right, Mr. Williams, with the moves they made in free agency, are you more confident that this team is going to repeat? And do you feel like this is do you think like
yeah, man, we're going back.
Do you think it's a better team than last year, in your opinion?
We had a rough start starting out, but we finished up strong. And then now that we're going to have a chance to do a little preseason or whatever, we're going to be ready.
Okay.
And Shaq Barrett, he's going to show them that what he did a year or so ago, that this is where he belongs.
Okay.
And that young man that said Jameis Winston going to give the New Orleans Saints more than even 9 wins, I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Williams is agreeing.
So.
He's agreeing with Harry the Greek here. Harry the Greek, you got money on this. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Jameis Winston is not going to give the New Orleans Saints no 9 wins.
How many wins?
Ain't gonna happen.
How many wins?
Easy money.
How many wins, Mr. Williams, do you think they have this year?
Well, I see us whipping them twice. Okay, I see us are whipping them twice.
Okay,
because the New Orleans Saints gave away Drew Brees' favorite target. They let them people walk, man.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's going to be one X factor right there.
Okay.
We had guys willing to give up a lot of stuff to keep our ship and our soldiers on our boat. Even the head driver of the boat.
Agree. All right.
Yeah, he had made up and left a lot of stuff, man. But no.
All right. Well,
Jameis ain't gonna do it.
Jameis ain't gonna do it. All right, my friend. We got to run. I appreciate the call. As always, one of my favorite webheads, Mr. Williams. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there. And thank you very much for the call. Let's read the rest of these comments, and then we will get out of here for the night. Again, yours truly, along with Mr. Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. Again, thanks to Damian Adams of the Real Deal podcast. Go and check that out. Let's see here. Andy Dalton, MVP. Thought that was funny. Eagles are godlike trolls. Last year, because Kansas City won the Super Bowl, NFL films were fast featuring America's Game on NFL Network. Fact, says Keith Larson. It's hard for me to see the players get behind Jameis just because they love playing against him. How can they have faith in him to lead them? Ben Parrish says, seen a post today. Lattimore got arrested on a gun charge. He gone. I think that's what I did the Chicago.
Oh, you just did a Hawk Harrelson. He gone.
He's one of my favorite sports broadcasters out there. I love when he goes, he gone.
Or a can of corn.
Or put it on the board. Ooh, yeah.
Yes. All right, I got one for you.
Mercy.
Who used to say this? I'm going to put a little trivia question out there. Hopefully, someone will go ahead and respond to it before the show's over. You ready?
I may respond to it.
That wouldn't be out in a telephone booth. That wouldn't be out of a telephone booth. I
don't know who that is.
Harry Carey said that a couple of times time.
Harry used to get tanked after the 6th inning. I mean,
no. Hold on. It wasn't Harry Carey. It was his sidekick. I mean, when Harry Carey's already had too many Budweisers,
yes,
like you said, tanked.
Yes.
Oh my God, there's just like a little infield pop up, and he goes, "That's way back. That's deep." Harry, that wouldn't be out of a telephone booth. Steve Stone said that. That's right.
He was rotated back and forth with the Cubs and the White Sox, which is interesting in itself.
Did you know Harry Carey was a White Sox announcer?
Yes, he was in their
St. Louis.
He was St. Louis, and of course the White Sox in the 80s. I believe the Go-Go Sox, they were pretty good back then. I think.
Wow, you're going back some time there, bro.
Well, they had Tony La Russa as their manager, and I believe they also had Harold Baines, who turned out to be a Hall of Famer back in that day.
Yes, he did. Sorry.
Harry, easy money. Laugh out loud. Daniel Williams says, what's good, homie? TB12 got 28 back. I love it. Go ahead and give me a Ric Flair. I like Mr. Daniel Williams, one of my favorites. Should be money in the bank. Matthew says, Magic need free agents. Being a Magic fan is the most frustrating thing in sports for me. And it started out when they allowed Shaq to go. And the reason why they allowed Shaquille O'Neal to go was because a poll put out there by the Orlando Sentinel where they said fans would favor it. Of course, Shaq would go back and say he wished he never left Penny Hardaway, but that's neither here nor there. I get upset when players say that I shouldn't have left. Well, you did. You won a couple of championships with the Lakers. Be happy with that. But they would have won a couple with the Magic too. I agree with Penny Hardaway and the way that team was constructed with the great Horace Grant, who is very underrated in his career, but was an unbelievable role player. I remember that year they got him and they beat the Bulls. Yes, they did. You remember that, don't you? Yes, I do. Nick Anderson stealing the ball. And then, of course, who could forget Nick Anderson being the missing 3 free throws versus the Houston Rockets in NBA Finals Game 1. Never forget it in my life. So AB is the only one left. He was not a starter. He came in week 8, not a week 1 starter, not a Super Bowl starter. But a lot of people are saying that could be the next one. Love Larry, one of the classiest players to play the game, but it's just too late in his career. Larry who? Oh, Larry Fitzgerald, agree.
Yeah.
Squad podcast, laughing. Christopher Cole, Ravens signed a wide receiver today, so no AB, and that would be Sammy Watkins. Agreed to a 1-year deal. And then Christopher Cole, I was fixing to stay Steve Stone. So Harry the Greek, your final thoughts here on the evolution on a Friday night.
Final thoughts on a Friday night. Wouldn't think of a better place to spend it. It's been awesome. I mean, it's just been a really awesome night. And by the way, Damien from New Orleans, man, super nice guy, really knowledgeable in the game. Not just football, my lord, his basketball knowledge is really, really off the chart as well. But on a personal note, this is where you can catch me on Wednesday night. Over and under at 9 o'clock. I'm going to be your host, Harry the Greek, with my producer, Mr. Peter Blake, and or co-host Peter Blake, and the man across the street, Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray. And don't forget to catch the show for Tampa Bay Ray on a Cup of Ray Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
Absolutely. There you go. That's our professional handicapper, Mr. Harry the Greek, Mr. 88% going up to 89, 90% here on the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Thanks a lot for your time, boss. All right.
Anytime, brother. Thank you so much for having me on. Wouldn't think of anything else better to do on a Friday night.
There you go. That means a lot to me, buddy. We'll see you soon. All right. There you go. Mr. Harry the Greek, my professional handicapper. So once again, thanks to all the guests here. And of course, all your shows. And if I was a little bit too passionate tonight, then maybe this is not the show for you, because we always say 3 things here on the evolution of sports talk television, the Sports Web. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Have a good night and keep it locked here on Bucs Report for all your breaking news, because you never know when we go live here. And when we go live right. Have a great weekend.